Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. And if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right. So today I have Tim Smith on the line, and he's a founder and CEO at HeartCert. Tim, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Adam. Really excited to be here. Appreciate it.
Oh, man, I'm excited to talk to you. It's been a while, so I'm excited to catch up and get into, of course, what you're doing at HeartCert, some of the new updates, which I'm not going to spoil it right now, but big updates you have to share. Just to get us started, let's start this show the way I start them all. So with our signature question. So Tim, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for our entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. So that's our mission here. Tim, what mission matters to you?
Yeah, and I love that question. And I love your mission there, Adam, what you're doing. So my mission and the mission of HeartCert, it's a little broad, but I'll kind of boil it down throughout the podcast here. It's helping is really what it comes down to. And helping, there are so many different ways to do that. So what is helping? What does that look like? Mm-hmm. It's kind of shaped my entire life, at least for sure my adult life, and what jobs I have and founding HeartCert and everything was what can I do that helps people, that gives back, but is also something I'm passionate about and also good at, so that we can, make the world, make communities a better place, and also feel good about doing it. And so I founded HeartCert and found a way to do that by offering quality, affordable, life-saving access to that kind of life-saving training. And so that's the way we're helping people. It's more kind of helping people by helping those who help people, helping the helpers, I guess you could say.
That's awesome. Love bringing mission-based entrepreneurs and executives on the line, and excited to get into HeartCert. But first, maybe just tell us a little bit more about how you got on this path to the company.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really interesting journey and kind of a fun story to tell, which I'll do throughout the podcast here. So I got started, it was basically on accident. I didn't have aspirations or dreams of being an entrepreneur, didn't go to business school, wasn't really planning on this at all. So like I said, my mission has always been to help people. And the way I got into that, one of my first jobs was being a personal care attendant and helping special needs individuals. And I just found a lot of joy and satisfaction in that. And then I kind of, all right, well, how can I do more? How can I be even more that I'm giving back in a little more direct way? And so I became an EMT and a firefighter. And through that journey as being a firefighter, I became a CPR instructor. I became a subject matter expert in a lot of different safety areas and training. And that's really how I got started. It was just on accident through a journey, and with a little help and push from my wife, who is the business owner. She was the one who had the idea. And so that's how we got started.
Man, that's awesome. What a great story. And I feel like the accidental entrepreneur happens often. I've done a lot of interviews, and it happens often. Like, you have this good idea, you kind of want to get it off the ground, and it might be something you do, it might not. So just, there's some people outside that are watching this right now that are kind of in that same space. They're like, I got this idea. I got this thing I want to do maybe. And I think it'd be a good business, but how do you do it? And I'll give you the example. So you moved forward and did it, right? There's a lot of people that have these ideas in their head. What's the secret? What kind of advice would you give them?
Yeah. What's
It's a
the
tough one.
secret is a tough one. There's a lot of things that go into, how do you take that next step? And a lot of people, I think it to some aspect is human nature, are a bit risk averse. And we like to stay in our comfort zone. We don't like to venture out and do that, because when it comes to starting a business, that's totally what it is. And it can be a lonely place. And a scary place to kind of put yourself out there almost on an island and trying to figure out what to do. And so I guess, long story short, my advice is to, maybe take a little bit of what I've done, and that's know that you can't do it all. There are limitations. And so what it takes to have a really good business is to invest in it and invest in people, having good people, good processes, technology, and just knowing how to have the balance and keep going. You got to keep going and push through. This business that I started, I actually, like I said, didn't think it was going to be a business. And I didn't really pay myself or take a salary for years, probably 6 or 7 years. And I think most people in 6 or 7 years without taking pay would say, what am I doing this for? But I saw the vision. If you truly believe in it and you believe in the mission and the vision, you know that it's going to get there. And so I knew that if I just kept pushing, my goal was always offer affordable, convenient, and top quality classes and services, that there'd be no reason people wouldn't use me. Basically give people no reason not to use me. And that's what I've done. And that's what I would suggest to other people. Just keep pushing and do your best.
So a lot of changes, a lot of things going on in your industry. So safety training in general, many different types of things. Like what are you seeing? Like, what are you seeing in the market right now?
Yeah, obviously there is a lot going on, and there's been a lot going on for years, but of course, top of mind for most businesses, right, is coronavirus and COVID. So, I mean, I'll start there. It's really changed the entire safety training industry. And like in a lot of things, the changes, I would say, have probably been for the better. Coronavirus was not for the better, but some of the changes that have come have been. So people still need training. And when coronavirus started, a lot of people re-entered the workforce. A lot of heroes trying to get back and help and give, which is amazing. That's what we try to support. Yeah. But with everything shut down, how do you get trained where you're able to be a nurse or be a personal care assistant or whatever? And so that's led to a lot of different options and accessibility, which has been really an interesting kind of change. So all of the industry has kind of moved to, you can do like online and blended type of training, which means, so rather than sit in, for instance, a CPR class and sit there for 6 hours, somebody can sit on their computer, go through most of the training, and then come in, and it's much shorter, lower exposure, and more just hands-on kind of skills in a safe environment. So options like that have been really shaping the industry in some interesting ways. I mean, in fact, even in our business, once coronavirus hit, we had to pivot. We had to figure out how are we going to train people and stay in business. I literally turned my garage into a shipping station. I never dreamed I'd start a business, let alone a logistic and shipping business. Wow. So moved the car out, moved in hundreds of mannequins. I'm out there sweating boxes and shipping them, but it helped give access so much to people. Now our reach grew from just a local reach to literally nationwide, where we're able to send out those things and offer them to people. So
that's absolutely amazing, first off. And this is what it's all about. So when you talk about like the idea of like providing a service and fulfilling, like helping your clients and filling that need in the industry, like you said, you would have never imagined making that happen. And that's not something you could put in a business plan, right? You're not like, well, let's see, we're going to start doing this. Like you're like big pivot. We're like, all right, we're in.
Looks like I'm shipping now. Here we go. So awesome. I mean, so that was even just one piece of it. So the other piece has helped, just like you said, you need to be able to pivot. And one thing I've always done is try to also listen and look and listen and not talk so much, but just figure out where are the gaps, where are the needs, what can we do? And so another thing has been, like I said, healthcare is obviously, it's always been a really big need, but now more than ever. And so we got into offering nursing training and assistance with finding jobs and doing CNA training, things like that, because there's more healthcare, more regulations I'm seeing as well, requirements for people. And so we're able to help fill that gap and that. And then finally, with those needs, there's other people. I'm not the only one who sees there's needs and gaps. So there's other safety training people, other CPR instructors, CNA instructors. But what I have found is my journey isn't all that unique in many aspects. A lot of people get into doing safety training simply because they're passionate about it and they love it, which is the exact right reason to get into something. But when you get into something like that, kind of like me, what's next? It's, boy, I don't know how to run a website, build a website. I don't know the first thing about advertising, about marketing, payroll. What else? Equipment, logistics, shipping. And so all of that has to get figured out. And I recognize that there's a lot of people out there who might be struggling with things like that. A lot of other trainers, safety training people, CPR trainers. And so we've actually developed a platform that kind of takes all of the administrative struggles, headaches, hurdles that I had to overcome over 11 years of owning the business, and made it this platform. It's called My TA System, because it's like having your own teaching assistant. And that will streamline, automate, and walk you through any kind of safety training and just make things easier. So that's been something that's developed from, coronavirus and just all the changes that I'm seeing in the industry as well. And it's really exciting. So the journey has been incredible, Adam.
Man, you've been doing a lot since our last conversation. I don't remember the mannequins. I don't remember the other. I feel like the other site. I feel like you got a lot going on. Let's go further into HeartCert. So of course you've talked about some of the things you do, but maybe just tell us the core. Tell us about the business.
Yeah. I kind of alluded to it at the beginning, but I'll tell you a little bit more about the journey and the story. So like I said, I became a firefighter. And what's kind of funny is I didn't think I was going to be a CPR instructor. I was kind of, let's say, voluntold from my fire department, I was going to be a CPR instructor. I thought, all right, that sounds fine. I'll do that. But what I found was the more I did it and looked into it, I really loved it. Right. So there was some passion there, and it was a great way to give back. And it just kind of went hand in hand. And I just, like I said, I tried to offer the best of the best, but I just did it on the side because I enjoyed it. And it's kind of funny. My wife still makes fun of me for it. But when we started, I would just rent, borrow, find a mannequin, like a CPR dummy. And I would just have people come over to my house in my living room in the metro of the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota area, and come in and do a CPR class. And in retrospect, that's a little crazy, maybe a little weird. Start a business just in there, having patrons come to your living room. But it worked because I saw that there was this gap, this need. People needed the training, wanted the training, but they didn't know where or how to get it. And so that was the journey, starting there, and just started offering CPR training, and then saw that, there's a gap in healthcare, people wanting to get into nursing or advance in nursing. And so we started offering basic and advanced life support classes. And so it goes from the most basic type of course where maybe a new mom, a new dad, a teacher, a coach wants to know some safety things, all the way up to, we expanded into emergency room doctors, emergency room nurses. So how do you do IVs? How do you put an advanced airway, read heart rhythms, all this kind of, so just covering all those gaps because there was a huge need. And then it just keeps going, Adam. I mean, so from there, people called me crazy, and they've called me that for a long time. But I saw another need, and that was, hey, there's a lot of people like me out there. There's a lot of people wanting to help and wanting to train. So I recognize, those people need help too, because I can only train so many people. I started off, I did all the training, but you recognize that if you're going to grow, it's all about people and hiring good people to help you out. And other people are in this too. And so I started training CPR instructors. And the reason people say that's crazy is, well, you're training your own competition, right, for your business. But I never look at it that way. Like I said, the mission has never been that. The mission is to train as many people as we can, to make it accessible, to make it affordable. And so helping those helpers, like I said at the beginning, that's what it became about. And so we've expanded into instructor training. And that's where that platform I talked about just a little bit about, that's where that was born. So my TA system helps make training just that much easier, streamlining, automating. It's just been a whole nother aspect of the business. So, I mean, it went from starting CPR in my living room. I even started doing off fire extinguishers, which I didn't talk about. And I would walk around and put tags on fire extinguishers because I thought, oh, firefighter, that makes sense. But that wasn't what I found to be the most rewarding, fulfilling way for the mission.
That's funny, Tim.
And I moved. Oh yeah, you should see all the stuff I got sitting around still. And there's still probably powder from fire extinguisher going off accidentally as I was figuring out the business. But yeah, I mean, starting from there and then moving all the way in through healthcare up to that, starting a software and platform. It's just an amazing, amazing journey.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from some of your students that are now becoming certified through some of your courses? Because I think it's awesome. Like you've been a benefit, of course, directly to your clients. Now you're empowering others to be a benefit to more people. I think it's amazing. What kind of feedback have you gotten?
Yeah, well, thank you. The feedback has been phenomenal because quality is of the utmost importance. Yeah. So, I mean, we try to make it easy from start to end for the consumer, for the people needing to take training or get trained to do the training. So it starts with the technology, website, making things easy and smooth, good communication. I think that's key to being a business owner, right? It's whether you're doing it yourself or you have someone else helping you, you've got to have good communication, good customer service. You got to take care of the people, right? And that's a key. And then when I started the business, right, I was a firefighter. I have experience actually performing CPR, doing all these skills. And so I always made sure that anyone who did our classes got trained properly, and really knew how to give just a knockout, dynamite, phenomenal class where every single person who walks out the door says, wow, I feel so much better, so much more comfortable, confident. If something happens, I may not be a professional, but I can do something and I know what to do. So people have really taken to that. And the fact that we can offer it nationwide and we've got all the other services has just been amazing.
Man, I think that's awesome. Take me through the user journey. So I want to take this from two different sides. I want to take it first for somebody that wants to get certification. So let's start there, and then we'll handle that same question second side, which would be, if somebody wants to get certified. So let's start with the first one. Let's say I'm saying, I want to get certified, or maybe I want to get somebody certified at my company. So there's somebody that I want, like each floor to be CPR trained and things like that. Take me through what that user journey looks like, because I know you spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great question, because I mean, it's a huge value add for companies, and just having this kind of life-saving training only makes everyone better, makes the company better. It makes communities better, just because you've got people trained. I can know everything there is about CPR and first aid and all of it, but if I have a heart attack, I can't save myself. Right. So that's where the mission comes in. And so the journey that they would take is, okay, where do most people start? I need this. What's next? Most people would go to Google, right? Or the internet. So unless you have somebody in your back pocket, you got to find them. And so that's a huge part of the company, is making sure we can get found, being on social media outlets, putting in search engine optimization funds, doing things like that. So making sure we can get in front of them, but not only that, getting ourselves to those people without them even having to search is another thing. So identifying who might need our services and reaching out to them first. So that's kind of two-pronged in that attack. So either we reached out and they're like, yep, we need this or want this, or they come and find.
So what does the actual course look like? Like, what does it look like? So now they found you, you made the match. Now, how does that part of it look like? Like, how long does it take? Like, give us some of the nuts and bolts of that.
Yeah, great question. Great question. So there's a couple different ways you can go. Like I said, now that you can do some of it online, which is a way that a lot of people do it. So they would be sent access information via email. They would watch course videos, take quizzes, written tests, and we would schedule a time and day that works best for them. We can either come to their office and bring our equipment, or we've got locations and they can come to us and get the certification. And it takes maybe a couple of hours at the most. It depends on the class and how many people, but it's really focused. It's really hands-on. It's also really laid back. We try not to make it too pushy or intimidating. It's really just making people feel comfortable to do something in case of an emergency.
And the training, so time-wise, you said it takes a couple hours typically, just depends?
Yeah, a couple of hours of the in-person and depending on the class, couple of hours of online. So at least cuts the class time in half, if not more. And if you don't want to do it online, don't have access, whatever, it can totally be done all in the classroom.
That's awesome.
It'd be about twice the length, depending on the class. And again, too, we can ship it and do it over Zoom, kind of like we do a podcast or whatever. They literally can get CPR mannequins delivered to their office or to their home or employees' homes and set it up and take a class just like that. So, I mean, how cool is that?
That's really cool. It's like, clear out the conference room. We got some dummies coming in. Come on.
That's right.
You see all these bodies coming in. People are turning around like, what's going on today? CPR training. They shipped us some bodies.
That's right.
That's awesome. And okay, so that's if somebody wants to get trained to for their office or even at home, they have children, things like that, and they want to make sure they're prepared if something happens, right? So that's one side of it, so to speak. The other side, somebody's watching this, or they have a little bit of a passion for it, and they're thinking like, I want to help people, and maybe I want to earn some additional money too, and do some things like that, or start a business. How does that part of going through your training program look to become a certified instructor?
Right. So similar to how you would get trained in CPR, you start by taking an instructor class, which we can do remotely or in person. But there's so much more to it from that, because once you take an instructor class, you might be certified in a day or two and meet the requirements, but you're not going to feel ready. Like, okay, let's do this. It comes with time, it comes with experience, it comes with mentoring and coaching. And that's what I've really enjoyed, is just passing on that knowledge and helping people. And so it's start by taking a CPR class, then you take a CPR instructor class, and that class can lead to all those other services. You can teach basic CPR, advanced nursing, all of that. And then that's where our software comes into play. So my TA system, like having your own teaching assistant, we give people access to that. And again, so if you're trying to figure out how to help people, what this will do for people is take all that I've learned, all the hurdles, all the bumps and bruises, and just lay it out there right in front of you and say, this is the path, which I would have killed for, Adam, with all the stuff that I've tried.
You wouldn't have had those you wouldn't have had all those fire extinguisher mishaps because your mentor and coach would have been like, dude, what are you doing with the fire extinguisher? Put the fire extinguisher down. Your wife would have been like, thank you to this mentor. Put the fire extinguisher down. You're killing me, Tim.
I know it. It was killing me. Yeah, I mean, and just like any business owner, right? There's stuff you throw against the wall and you got to figure out. And I figured out. And when it comes to training, it sounds really easy, right? Oh, so you put on a class and people get a certification. Yeah, there's a lot behind the scenes. There's just so much going on. And so that's what we've done, is made it so that that's simple. Because what I found was, I started off as a CPR instructor and like I said, doing all the classes. Then I recognized, all right, I need others to help me do the classes. And I was slowly shifting out of what I loved to do into something that I almost despised the business for a short period of time there. And you got to recognize that as a business owner and adapt, make changes. I mean, I was just sitting doing repetitive office work, copying and pasting things. And I did not enjoy that. Chasing people down, sending 100 manual emails a day. And that's where I was like, okay, there's got to be a better way. And there really wasn't much out there. So we created this where it will automatically send emails and certifications and track records and track what you need to do next and give reports and just on and on and on, help with payroll, help with website. And that has just been huge. I mean, even if no other trainers use it, we're putting it out there. So hopefully others will see value in it, but it is a lifesaver just for me because I can enjoy my business again. My TA system is doing that work for me. And so I can work on other things, a little more high level and a little more enjoyable and in my wheelhouse.
It's awesome. So Tim, first off, this has been great. I don't know if I've laughed this much, first of all. And I get the feel. The reason why I bring up the laughter part is that people that have been watching the show this much, I'm not usually cracking up like this. Like, this was awesome. I enjoyed it. So I can just imagine myself in one of your classes. Like, that's the feel I want, like health, healthcare in terms of like training, things like this. Very serious topics. I mean, you can save lives by having that knowledge. So it's a big, big deal. But sometimes the delivery or the classes and the things like that, like, you want to make sure, like, you're going to retain it more. You're going to feel better when you do it. You want a better like environment for your employees. If you're bringing Tim into your home and ship through Zoom, I should say, by shipping one of those mannequins or however you're doing it, like you want to make sure that you enjoy those couple of hours too, so that you remember the teaching. So that's like such a critical part to it all. It's not just like having the information. You have to make sure that like you can retain it, like you can get it. And I can just tell based off of being on this interview and interviewing you, I'm like, man, like, these classes are awesome. Like, it's something that you want to do. I feel like that's a little bit of the special touch you have going on over there.
Yeah. And I appreciate you recognizing that. And you're absolutely right, because we've all sat through seminars, trainings, for sure. Right? And you've already forgot it before you've even learned it. Right. And so, making it enjoyable. And it's a competitive market, but like I said, I don't look at it that way. But how do you stay competitive in a market where so many people are doing it is making it enjoyable, making it a good experience from front to end for the user, no matter what they're a student or an instructor or using software or whatever. And so, just investing in good people who can deliver amazing classes so that the students understand and retain that knowledge, again, just adds to that mission, makes everything grow, makes everything better. And that's what I've been driving to do, is so just keep investing in people, technology, right? We've got our own building now, our own software company, and it's just, who knows? It's just crazy, the journey.
Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait for our next interview, Tim. This has been amazing. So that being said, like, what's next? What's next for you? What's next for HeartCert? Like, what's next?
Oh, that's a great question. And it's kind of fun and interesting. So my wife and I, we sit down, and it's always good from time to time to take a breath and kind of look back, because as a business owner, you're usually charging forward. What's next? What's next? What's next? Yeah. Which is great. But you also need to recognize where you've been and kind of enjoy it. And every single year, if not more than once a year, we'll say, boy, do you remember last year when we were only in one location, or didn't have any software, or didn't have a building, right? Where do you think we'll be next year? And then we look back again, and we're never anywhere close. Each year, each quarter, it's always amazing to me what happens. We've expanded from my living room into multiple states. We're in Iowa, Wisconsin, we're in Atlanta, Georgia. Wow. We're all over and basically nationwide with the shipping. So what's next is a tough question, but it's a fun one to think about. So I would say probably expanding into more locations. We're always looking to add good instructors. We have almost like a partnership kind of quasi franchise type opportunity that we really roll out to people that's been really successful. Wow. And so if you're looking to get into it, you can contact us. We're always looking to grow and expand. Again, the software platform, my TA system, hopefully that will take off. It's brand new. Just keep driving the mission, and what's next? We'll see, I guess. But just keep on fighting, keep on pushing, and hopefully more and more people are willing and able to help too.
That's amazing. So, Tim, first off, this has been awesome. I've had a lot of fun. I'm sure our audience learned a lot today. And if somebody's watching this, whether they're an employer and they're thinking about, training for their employees, or, their family, they want to, make sure that their loved ones are protected and that they have this extra bit of training should something happen, of course. What's the best way for people to follow up and to connect and to learn more?
Yeah, the easiest way is to go to our website, which is HeartCertCPR.com. HeartCertCPR.com. If you're not finding what you look for, we got plenty of contact information there, email, phone, forms. But yeah, you can find your training classes throughout the nation there. And if you're an instructor or a trainer in any kind of field and just kind of interested in that platform that we've created, that would be mytasystem.com. And so that's the next exciting thing. And if it's all right with you, Adam, being a business owner, like I said, it's all about people. I'd love to just take a quick minute for a couple of acknowledgements.
Please.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be here, like I said, if it wasn't for my wife. She kind of pushed me into it a little bit. She actually went to a CPR class when I was doing fire extinguishers, and it was in someone's home. And she said, "You can do that." I said, Really? And I said, okay. And so we did. And so, having just a solid partner who's with you through and through, can't say enough. It was before we even had kids. And now we got my kids, Max and Kelsey, who are just amazing and, gives you a reason to keep going. Right.
Amazing.
And I've got a business partner. Never thought I would have one of those. Right. The business just kept growing and he's been an amazing mentor. Jim, he's incredible. And I've had a couple other really good, loyal, great people. Steve and Adam both helped start the company and keep it going for me, and countless instructors and assistants, and couldn't do it without any of them. So my assistants, Shana and Christina, and all of our instructors. So yeah, can't do it without those people. And what's next? Hopefully more good people.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, Tim, really been a pleasure having you on the show again. Awesome, as always, to connect with you. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. Hope you learned a lot. If you did, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We have many more mission-based entrepreneurs, executives, and experts coming on, and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Tim, again, it has been fun as always. Thank you for coming back on the show.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Love the show. Love what you're doing, Adam. Appreciate it.